How can I start observing the biblical calendar? When a believer finally comes to the conclusion that we are required to honor the biblical calendar of God's appointed times, the place to begin is always with Shabbat. Begin by observing the seventh-day Sabbath each week. See, one of the contentious things that a believer faces who is starting to see the Bible as it is not only what to start observing, but also what to stop observing. It makes little sense to adopt the biblical calendar, but also to hold on to the Christian church calendar as they oppose one another. So along with starting to observe Shabbat, quit observing Easter and Christmas. These are purely man-made traditions. Both have heavily pagan roots and practices. Next, inform yourself about the biblical feasts. Start with going to the Torah class website and find our topical study on the 7 biblical feasts. That's a 2-part series. A helpful hint is to find a nearby Hebrew roots congregation, even if it's a goodly drive, or even just a small home group, to see how they learned to go about celebrating each feast. Take it slow, know what you're doing. It's a pretty big step to take. You will likely encounter pushback from your family and friends, and if you're not prepared with a firm conviction and actual biblical facts to point to and to back you up, you will have a most difficult time of it. And even then, expect a bit of a bumpy ride. See, this is where fellowship with like-minded believers makes all the difference. You will also find that there are differences of opinion about exactly what days some of these feasts arrive on. The best way to approach it is to take the traditional Hebrew calendar as used by the majority of Jews as your guide. It is not that some of the variations offered on the calendar by other Jewish organizations have no merit, because indeed some Torah instructions concerning the calendar are a bit ambiguous. The difficulty often lies especially in converting a Hebrew calendar into our modern Western Gregorian calendars. See, when we overlay one atop the other, and since the Hebrew calendar days always begin and end at sunset, not at midnight, as do Western calendars, then it can seem odd to see a one-day biblical observance spread out on a modern calendar over portions of 2 days. Now, it won't take long before you get into the rhythm and you discover the joys of celebrating God's appointed times, just as our Savior and Messiah did.